You are listening to Three Kitchens Podcast, a member of the Alberta Podcast Network, locally grown, community supported. We release a new episode every Tuesday. Come join us for a new recipe and a good story. This episode is brought to you by Park Power, your friendly local utilities provider in Alberta, offering internet, electricity, and natural gas with low rates, awesome service, and profit sharing with local charities.
In Alberta, you get to choose who to buy your internet, electricity, and natural gas from. If you switch providers, nothing changes about the delivery of these utilities to your home or business. If you have an existing contract, you're going to want to find out the terms before leaving. If you don't, then it's even easier to sign up for Park Power.
You as the consumer have the choice of who you pay your bills to. Why not choose your friendly local utilities provider? Learn more at parkpower.ca.
Hello and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Welcome to Three Kitchens Podcast. You've got me, Erin Walker, yapping in your ear right now, and I am joined by Zebediah on the other side.
On the other side.
Through the magic of internet and Zoom, we are here together.
Happy New Year. First episode of 2023.
Man, it's going to take me forever to get that right again.
Yeah, isn't that always the way?
For some reason, I seem to get stalled at March. I'm always writing March on things.
Oh. But the thing is, you don't write the date all that often. You know? Like you used to, when you're in school, you end up writing the date on lots of stuff. And
yeah.
Now everything you do just automatically puts it on if you need it, or
you just click the little calendar and then you just select the date, so you're not even really thinking about the year number, right? So we thought we would do a little wrap up to last year, some of the exciting things we did last year, because as I went over this, I got really excited about all the stuff that we did last year.
We had a busy year.
We had a busy year. We did so much cool stuff. And last year was our first year podcasting from January to December. Mm-hmm. Even though we took a break this summer, we still did more work this year.
Oh, for sure.
Easily. And we're changing things up, and we're going forward with some really exciting new stuff in the new year. And
that's right. Did you know that I had to go and count. We produced 44 episodes in 2022.
Wow.
And we're coming up on our 100th episode very soon in January.
That's right.
That's a lot. Like when you think,
geez,
that's at least 44 recipes, but actually it's more because some episodes we do 2, 3, 4 recipes.
Too many.
So I couldn't actually count them all up. That would have taken a lot of time to manually do that. And I mean, who cares, honestly? But we know it's more than probably 50 recipes made last year.
That's incredible. Geez, that's a lot of cooking. That's a lot of eating for us.
The best part.
Also known as why I love my job.
And some drinking.
And drinking now.
The Speakeasy bonus episodes, which are drinks.
Did you know we have done 13 of those since October?
Oh my God.
13 drink episodes.
And it's still not enough. We got to keep going with those because they're so
still not enough. I'm already really excited about the ones that we've got coming out. I have so much fun editing those.
Oh, they're so silly. If you haven't listened yet to Speakeasy, just prepare yourself. They're just ridiculous. We get off on, it's the kind of conversations you have with your friends when you're having a drink and you're just
exactly
on weird tangents and strange.
Come join us for a fun laugh on something ridiculous.
It's less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, I recently was talking to a friend who's like, I don't have the attention span. 14 minutes is my attention span for a podcast. I'm like, where did that number come? 14 minutes is kind of an odd number. Yeah, very specific. But I'm like, you could listen to Speakeasy then because they're very short, 8 to 10 minutes.
It doesn't take a ton of thought.
Oh, none.
We're not diving deep into anything.
It probably helps to have a drink in you before you listen, just
probably. Because... Well, last year at this time, we had only done episodes where we had cooked and chatted with each other. Mm-hmm. So last year we launched breaking out of our little bubble and starting to interview people and do collaborations with other podcasts. Do you know how many guests we had on last year?
Should I guess?
Sure, go for a guess.
I think we had like 4.
you're going to be excited by this answer. We had 9 guests
9?
last year.
Oh my
9.
God. Obviously, well, I didn't put any thought. If I'd sat and I could think of them.
Yeah.
All, sure,
You could probably think of them all, right?
Oh, totally.
But we made chicken marsala with Chef Dennis. We talked to Dawn with Shirley's Greenhouse. We collaborated with the Mess Hall podcast, Avery and Lena, and we had that really fun St. Patrick's Day. We interviewed the fire department. We got your husband on here.
That's right.
Somewhat not willingly.
Yeah. Little coercion involved.
A little bit of food.
Yeah, bribery.
We had Julie Strauss from The Best Book Ever. We learned how to make cheese with Alexis Cobham of Cheesemaker.
Right.
We did the Whispering Cedars Ranch lamb, which, that's just ongoing. Mm-hmm. We're just still cooking with lamb. We had Indian Samantha from I Love This, You Should Too. And then Chef Kiki just a few weeks ago with the American Vintage Chef.
Oh, yeah. I can't believe there's that many of them. That was so fun.
9. And it has been so much fun. And we have learned so much about what other people do and how other people cook in their homes. And I think that's been my favorite part.
So anybody listening who wants to be a guest, you have interesting food stories, food beverage related stories.
Yeah.
Or you want to be a guest host. That's a new thing we're going to be doing.
That's right.
Come and join us. If you're local, we'll feed you and you can just come and tell us what you think of our food.
Yeah.
We'll talk to just about anybody who wants to talk about food.
Yeah. And we've got some fun interviews coming up. We've already got in the can.
Yeah, we've got a couple of guest hosts and we've got a couple of interviews in the works.
Yeah.
And we want to do lots more. So, or even if you don't want to be a guest, but you have an idea of who you'd like to hear, who you think we should invite to be a guest. We have a long list, but we will add to it.
You mentioned we launched our Speakeasy.
Mm-hmm.
We also launched a website.
Yes.
That's what we did with our summer break.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't have a break. We just built a website. And a recipe blog. We have more than 100 recipes on the blog already.
That's incredible.
That's not even all the food we've ever cooked for the podcast, but it's majority of it.
It's a good chunk of it. I know some of mine are still lagging behind because...
Oh, me too. For sure.
Writing a website with recipes on it apparently takes a lot of work.
Writing recipes.
Yes.
Who knew? Just about every time we cook for the podcast, we change up. We might start with a recipe from a book or a website or something. We always change it. We adapt it to what we like, or something goes wrong and we have to make it our own or whatever. That happens to me quite a bit.
Yep.
And so if you're like me, you make a little note in your notebook or something. Then you go to write the recipe and you're like, oh my God, what did I mean? What did I do? And then you got to listen back to the episode and you got to find out what actually went down, and it's work.
And coming up with the words to describe things. I don't know how often I'm sitting in front of my computer thinking about how thick should this be? What's the texture I'm going for? Trying to describe these things, because we often make fun of some of the descriptions that we've read over time, but it's actually really hard to put into words what you're doing in the kitchen.
What it should look like or feel like or taste like even. Yes, that's right.
So that's been fun. And I personally like all these recipes in one place because I'm always going back and making stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we also joined a great learning community, the Women Who Podcast. We went to their virtual symposium and we were on the cover of the magazine, which I kind of forgot about until I looked back at this. Because my brain was only October. I know. Yeah, my brain is like a sifting flour right now.
Yes. Lots of fun. Everybody, if you are interested, check out Women Who Podcast magazine and Women Who Sarcast podcast.
Yes.
Which
oh my
is quite
gosh.
Fun.
Yeah. Kathy Barron is the head of all those things.
Yep.
and she does a fabulous job. And I quite look forward to her podcast. And yeah, we've met all these fantastic people all over the world, which is really cool of this whole internet digital age. I feel like really old when I have to say things like that, because I know there are younger people that are like, the internet age.
I'm going to say the airwebs and the interwebs.
Yeah.
Something I remember our friend Julie Strauss from Best Book Ever podcast, I remember her saying on her show, if you're not making friends on social media, you're doing it wrong.
Yes.
Which is absolutely true. You should connect with people. And this has been a really great learning community and connection. And
I never knew that you could make friends like through the digital landscape like this. Like
you were doing it wrong, Erin.
I've met strangers and made friends this year.
Look at you.
I know. But on a worldwide note, we have been listened to on every continent, 46 countries worldwide that have listened to us, which is pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
So our top 5 states, places, country, like
locations as they pop up on the stats.
Our number 1 is in Alberta. That's our local audience. Number 2 is Virginia. So all of our friends over in Virginia. Hey. Germany is number 3.
Wow, I didn't know that.
What? And this is all-time listens. So this is going back all the way to the beginning. Okay, number 4 is Minnesota. So hey Minnesota. And number 5, rounding it out, was California.
Yay, California.
So
hey,
all of our friends in the States and
Germany?
In Germany?
I want somebody from Germany who's listening to comment on a social post or something and just tell us, say hello in German. So we know it's authentic. No, I'm just
say hey from Germany. Anyway, I thought that was so cool looking at our top 5. And we've had a ton of in this season, because we did do a season break over the summer. But in this season, we've had a huge growth in our American listening population, which is really cool. It's almost 50-50 within this since September. So
between basically Alberta and the US. Because even within Canada, we haven't managed to branch out a whole bunch.
Everywhere. It's so cool. All the different countries that came up. It's just been really fun to see, who's putting up with our words in their ears.
Hey everybody, we have a podcast recommendation for you. Our fellow APN member Mess Hall podcast. Join hosts Avery and Lena as they sample, rate, and talk about fun food. I like this podcast, obviously because they talk about food, but they also throw in some history and fun facts about each episode's food theme. I listened the other day to one about marshmallows. Remember those marshmallow candies in the shape of strawberries? Turns out Lena's a huge fan. I'm not sure I was. Anyway, they're a married couple, so there'll be some disagreements and fun ridicule in their banter, and there absolutely is. So check them out. You can find Mess Hall Podcast wherever you listen, and you'll also find them at messhallpodcast.podbean.com. For more fun and informative shows, go to albertapodcastnetwork.com. Okay, top 3 most downloaded episodes in 2022. So not all time, but just last year.
Okay.
Number 1. Nobody will probably be surprised by this. Pop-Tarts!
Pop-Tarts.
Erin's homemade Pop-Tarts got a lot of traction. People love them. I'm curious how many people actually made them, or if they just love hearing about them and drooling over the pictures. Because I will confess, I have not yet made them myself, but I sure love them. They're so good. And if you're a fan of Pop-Tarts or nostalgic for your Pop-Tarts you ate as a kid, this is like 1,000 times better. You'll love them so much. Okay, number 2, Sarah's Ondeh cake.
Oh, right.
Sarah had the help of her friend Irene. Yeah, she had a little bit of help with the cake. But wow, it was amazing. That green pandan.
Introducing us to that flavor of pandan and the brightness of that cake.
That chiffon, was it a chiffon cake? Oh my God. It was so delicious.
It was so light and fluffy. And I'm going to pipe in and say, if you liked the Ondeh cake, you're going to really like the German's chocolate cake that you made in November, because although it's like a very different cake, the texture in it was so awesome.
I think it's a similar method of mixing up the batter, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, but you're right. It's a definitely a completely different flavor profile, but both very light.
Yeah,
fluffy sort of cake. Like
the best, fluffiest cakes you can imagine. So good, so good. And I don't know, I was scared a little bit by what Sarah did, but I have tackled your German's chocolate cake and
it's
good recipe.
Yeah, that
Very
one's a
good
good
recipe.
one. I haven't attempted Ondeh cake either, although I would love to at some point. It's so impressive. Like if you're a baker and you want to impress with a beautiful, delicious cake, give that one a try. So good. Okay, and rounding out the list of most downloaded in 2022 were the dumplings to die for. These were the ones we did. They were open-faced.
Yep.
And we filled our dumplings at home, as Sarah told us a story.
Yes.
A true crime story about a dumpling restaurant.
It was a rather gruesome dumpling story.
That was really fun. Yeah. That was a fun episode and really good dumplings.
And that was the first time I had ever steamed dumplings ever before.
Yeah, and they were open.
Oh, those were so easy to make. And the meat in the filling was so good. And I would say if you liked those dumplings, you should also try Sarah's Nepalese dumplings that she made. Because she made the dough, which really upped the game. But you could make that same filling with dumpling wrappers in the same way that we made the dumplings to die for. And so those Nepalese dumplings she made in April, and those were such an interesting, good flavor.
We love our dumplings around here. Any kind of dough, stuff wrapped in dough. We've made empanadas, we've made pierogi, we've made I don't know how many different kinds of dumplings. We love our meat put in dough.
Even like your sabik was delicious, and that's like a bread
pita,
with stuff,
the pita, like a flatbread. Yes, that's true.
You know, like everything. Everything should just come in a nice doughy package.
Yeah.
Hey, even the Pop-Tarts. That was dough.
Pop-Tarts, totally. One time you made ravioli, homemade ravioli.
Oh, that's
with
right.
Butternut squash. That might have been the previous year. I don't remember.
No, that was the very beginning of this year.
Oh, that was really good too.
Episode 1 of this year. Yeah.
Squash ravioli. Now I want that. I want all the things. This is what happens when we talk about. This is why the podcast keeps going, because every time we talk about food, we get inspired to make something new. And then we're like, oh, I'm so hungry and I'm going to make this.
And then we can't make it without sharing it.
Oh, yeah. We even share things that don't go on the podcast every so often. We be like, hey, I got something I'm going to drop off for you. I have a never ending list of ideas.
Yes.
For recipes that I want to make.
So many fun new things to try. And on the heels of a conversation we had yesterday, Heather shared this fabulous tip of when you're baking things to take all your ingredients out, put them on the counter, use them, and put them away as you use them. And yesterday I made pizza dough, and I didn't use this method. And guess who forgot the salt in her pizza dough? This lady right here. So then later, when I was doing another recipe, I was like, yeah, I got to start adopting this method of bringing my ingredients out. And the next thing I made was it had all the ingredients in it.
You know what else is useful with that method is that sometimes I start doing something and I was like, if I just kind of pull things out as I need them, and then I realize, oh shit, I don't have the thing. Whatever it is, it's usually something I think I've got, like, oh, it's cream of tartar, or like some random thing that I'm sure I've got in the cupboard.
Yeah.
Then I realize I don't actually have it.
And then you're not already elbows deep.
Yes. And so I started doing this where I pull all my stuff out, make sure I've got what I need first. Very useful.
Good advice. Very good advice, Heather.
That's one of the things we talk about as we are a guest on a podcast January 4th. Oh, so tomorrow.
Tomorrow, you guys can tune in to an episode that we did talking about our kitchens.
Kitchen design and dream kitchen.
And dream kitchens.
All kinds of stuff. So anyway, do we want to mention that we started out as 3 kitchens, but now there's 2 of us? Yeah.
We lost a kitchen.
It sounds like she went off into the woods and just never came back. We lost Sarah. We don't know where she went.
There were 3 of us when we started this journey.
Somehow we lost.
One along
She went into the gas station washroom and we drove away without her. No, she went back to school. She became too busy.
Back to school. She is
have time.
Pursuing new and exciting things, and we are so excited for her, and she's still drinking with us.
Yeah, you can still catch Sarah's voice with us on Fridays. She'll still be drinking. She needs it.
Yeah.
She's a student. She needs her cocktails.
We're supporting her schooling.
And speaking of support,
Ooh,
we've
look
had
at
this
that.
thing on our website ever since we created it that says, I didn't write it down. It says support the podcast or support the show or
Oh shit. I have to look this up again.
Okay, well, Erin's looking it up.
Tell us about it, Heather.
It is a button on the website, on the footer, so at the bottom of the page. It's a bright yellow button. And if you click it, you can donate to the show if you feel so inclined to buy us a coffee. That's the name of the website. Just means that you can throw us a few dollars if you want to help us pay for booze, for Speakeasy. And
Yes.
you can make a comment if you choose to. You can be anonymous, or you can say your business name or your name, and we can give you a shout out to say you've supported the show. We're happy to promote your small business. If you wish to put that name in there, tell us about it and we will promote it.
Yeah. Support our podcast.
There you go. Support our podcast. Look for that bright yellow button on the website if you wish, or just keep listening for free. That's fine too.
Yeah. But comments. We would love, as always. It's fun making friends online. I learned this year, guys. Take the leap with me.
Join Erin.
Make a friend.
You can also comment on our recipes on the blog on the website.
That's
You
right.
can tell us that if they don't work, or tell us how you zhuzh it up.
Yeah.
Tell us how you made it your own.
Support me in my hatred of cilantro. Cilantro sucks. I'm with you. High five.
I get slightly catered to as well with my dairy issues. We often have to make things non-dairy.
That's okay.
To an
We've
extent.
discovered some awesome non-dairy things.
That's
like
true.
the vegan whipped cream that we've been making with
Coconut
coconut
milk?
cream. Oh my God, that is a staple now.
Love
Like,
it.
when I have regular whipped cream without that coconutty flavor, I'm kind of like, meh, it's okay.
Yeah. Oh, that is delicious, I have to say.
I like the challenge and learning something new. And it's nice to be able to have these alternatives to go to when you're cooking for people. And then you ask the question, oh, hey, does anyone have any sensitivities? And somebody pipes up and says, oh, I can't eat dairy, so I won't. Yeah. Now we can adjust.
We got some alternatives or ways to leave things out. There's an episode coming up with a guest who threw me a total curveball with one of the main ingredients in the dish. And I was like, what do I do with this? But I've yet to find out how it worked out, because that part 2 has yet to be recorded. And I'm hoping it turned out okay. So you just,
This is good.
but we'll hear from her. She's brutally honest. I mean, she told me she didn't like whatever the thing was.
I don't like what you're making.
I don't like that.
We're not this mean to all of our guests. This is because it's Heather's sisters.
Yeah.
we won't talk about you this way.
No,
if
if
you
you're a
come and
guest.
guest with us.
I
don't like that.
Siblings can take it. It's part of the sibling dynamic. Yeah, it'll be the sisters show. It's
Yeah,
kinda...
we're gonna transform to the 3 sisters instead of the 3 kitchens, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. What's so funny is that we ask people, hey, do you want to come on the show? And they're like, yeah, that'd be fun. And then you realize when you start talking that they haven't been doing this as we have. And you've forgotten what it was like at the beginning, talking,
Yes.
knowing you're being recorded and just talking. And like, it's weird at first, right?
It is.
Yeah.
At the beginning of every episode, when we have to hear it say, recording in progress, I'm always like, all right,
What do I say?
how do we intro this again? We're still working on
Intros.
that.
Always awkward. Just ignore it.
You know, I find interviewing and doing all this super challenging. It is totally out of my realm of things I'm comfortable with doing. And so I really look forward to getting better, because that is my goals.
I think we've already gotten better at it.
I think we have, but we
More
definitely, it's always different each time, and learning to think in the moment and carry on conversations while your brain's also doing stuff is kind of
Yes. And
a
I've
new
had
skill.
to, I say this a lot, but I've had to just accept that whatever I say may not get edited out the way I would like it to. She has so much power, you guys. You have no idea what the editor's power.
you don't hear half the shit I say.
Yes, exactly.
That's okay. We can laugh at ourselves about it.
Oh, totally. Totally. And everyone is free to laugh at us too.
Exactly. I can't even pronounce English words, so let's be honest. Like, I'm not safe in any language. So that's okay. Well,
Is that it?
I think we can say thank you to our listeners, and thank you to all of our guests that we've had on. and for the community and the people. And thank you, thank you, thank you.
Anybody who's told a friend to listen. If you haven't, then get on that and tell someone you know.
Make it your good deed of the new year.
Yeah. Share our name around, which we really appreciate. That's how it works. That's how you find out about podcasts you want to listen to, books you want to read, movies. It's because people tell you, hey, I saw this thing. I listened to this thing. It's really fun, whatever.
Yeah.
So there you go. Cool. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week with a friend who is hosting with us.
Oh, our very first guest host.
And we've made it easy for everyone. Her name is also Erin. So
sometimes she's the other Erin, and then sometimes Erin Walker is the other Erin. It just depends on the time and place. Believe me, I was like, I don't even remember now in the recording if I called you guys Erin, if I called you by your last names. I was so confused about what I was supposed to be saying. That's a good one, though. That's a good gluten-free episode as well.
Yeah.
That's of interest to people.
Gluten-free, egg-free,
but not flavor-free.
But
Very
no,
delicious.
That's right. It doesn't make you sad.
Nope. Very delicious.
And it might help settle your stomach after all the food you have eaten in the last couple of weeks.
That's
true. To up your veggie count.
Oh, gosh. Yes.
Bye, Heather.
Goodbye. We're back to waving and saying bye. And now for the fine print. Join us over on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Pinterest, and on our website at threekitchenspodcast.com. And remember, when you like, follow, subscribe, and review, it helps more people find us. Thank you so much for listening. You have to edit this part out because I just lost my train of thought.